Have you ever experienced something so terrifying that you just wish you could forget it ever happened? Well, today I've got the perfect story to share with you. It's chilling, horrifying, and will keep you up at night. But before we dive into the story, please hit that subscribe button. It's free, and your support would mean everything to me. Now let's get started. In a faraway land shrouded in mystery and intrigue, there lived a man known only as the Sheikh. He was a man of deep religious faith and unwavering commitment to his prayers. Every day he would step into his courtyard and face the sacred Kaaba in Mecca, lost in the serenity of his devotion. However, the Sheikh's world was turned upside down when tragedy struck his family. His beloved son and wife perished in a terrible accident, leaving him shattered and broken. Grieving the loss of his cherished loved ones, the Sheikh retreated into himself, shunning the company of others and finding solace only in his prayers. But as time passed, something strange and unsettling began to happen. People in the neighborhood started hearing sounds emanating from the Sheikh's house, particularly during prayer times. At first it was just a faint echo of the adhan, the Islamic call to prayer, followed by hushed whispers that seemed to carry cryptic messages. Then came the guttural chanting, rhythmic and hypnotic, weaving tales of forgotten lore. These eerie sounds would fill the air every evening, sending shivers down the spines of those who heard them. Whispers turned to rumors, and rumors turned to full-blown fear. People started avoiding the Sheikh's house, convinced that it was haunted by malevolent spirits or worse. Some even claimed that the Sheikh himself had dabbled in dark magic, unleashing forces he couldn't control. The Sheikh's reputation was tarnished, and his once peaceful abode became known as the House of Whispers, a place where shadows danced to the tune of fear and secrets whispered in the darkness. In recent years, social media has become a hub for paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike, each with their own theories and experiences to share. But amidst the sea of ghost stories and haunted houses, one story stands out as particularly chilling: the House of Praise, also known as Beit al-Salah. This tale originates from a remote village on the outskirts of Jordan, where the desert winds whistle through the cracked stones of abandoned homes. It tells the story of a humble clay brick dwelling with a collapsed roof and a rusted iron gate. But what sets this house apart from countless others in the region is its terrifying reputation. The locals call it Beit al-Salah, which translates to the house that prays. According to the elders of the village, the house once belonged to a devout Muslim named Abu Zayd, or Father of God. He was known throughout the community for his unwavering faith and his habit of leading prayers from his home long before the village had a proper mosque. But after the tragic death of his young son and wife in a mysterious fire, something shifted in his demeanor. The townspeople noticed that he withdrew into himself, rarely stepping out of his house and shunning invitations to community gatherings. As weeks turned into months, the villagers became increasingly concerned for his well-being, but their efforts to reach out to him were met with curt dismissals and thinly veiled threats. Then the strange occurrences began. At first it was just the sound of whispers and murmured prayers echoing from his house late at night. But soon the whispers grew louder, taking on a guttural, almost demonic tone. Despite their fear, some villagers couldn't help but feel a sense of morbid curiosity. So they gathered outside the house, trying to catch a glimpse of what was happening inside. What they saw was both horrifying and inexplicable. They witnessed prayer mats moving on their own, Qurans flipping through pages, and objects levitating above the ground. To make matters even more unsettling, the sound of the adhan, the call to prayer, would suddenly blare from within the house, even though Abu Zayd had been dead for years. Rumors spread like wildfire, reaching far beyond the borders of the small village. Some said that Abu Zayd had made a pact with the devil, trading his soul for power and knowledge. Others claimed that the house was cursed, trapping the souls of those who entered it. Fearful of what might happen if they stayed in the village, many of the residents abandoned their homes and fled, leaving behind their possessions and their memories. Over time, the once bustling town became a desolate wasteland, a shadow of its former self. Now, you might be wondering how a story like this can possibly be true. After all, it sounds like something straight out of a horror movie. But the thing is, these stories are rooted in reality, drawing inspiration from actual events and folklore. They may be embellished over time, but the core elements often have a basis in truth. For example, the story of Abu Zayd may have been inspired by the case of a real man who lost his family in a tragic accident. The grief and isolation he experienced could have driven him to extreme measures, such as seeking solace in forbidden practices or making a deal with the devil. Similarly, the whispers and chants heard in the house may have been inspired by actual religious texts or local folklore, twisted and distorted to create a sense of unease and dread. But here's the kicker: unlike fictional stories, these tales are often considered to be true by those who believe them. That means that even if we can't prove or disprove the validity of these stories, they still hold power over those who hear them. It's important to approach these stories with sensitivity and respect for those who believe in them. After all, they are part of the cultural fabric of the communities in which they are told. Dismissing them as mere superstition or hoaxes can be hurtful and disrespectful. Instead, we can learn about different cultures and beliefs while keeping an open mind about the possibility that there may be more to these stories than meets the eye. We may even discover a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us in the process. So if you ever find yourself in a remote village in Jordan or any other country where similar stories are told, take a moment to listen to the locals and appreciate their unique perspective on the world. In recent years, the story of Beit al-Salah has gained new life thanks to the internet. Many skeptics have come forward claiming to have visited the house themselves and captured evidence of the paranormal activity. One such skeptic is a young YouTuber named Nur, who travels to the village to investigate. With her camera crew in tow, Nur sets up shop in the house and waits for the spooky events to unfold. What happens next is nothing short of terrifying. As night falls, they hear the sound of footsteps and whispers echoing from the next room. Then, to their horror, they see a figure emerge from the darkness. Is it the ghost of Abu Said or something else entirely? Stay tuned to find out. Nur and her team are stunned by what they have just witnessed. They pack up their things and flee the house as fast as they can. Back in the safety of her own home, Nur reviews the footage and discovers that the camera picked up a whispering voice that was not her own. Could this be the voice of Abu Said himself, reaching out from beyond the grave to communicate with her? Or is there another explanation for what she heard? If you've made it this far, you might be wondering how this story ends. Does Nur find answers to the mystery of Beit al-Salah, or does she choose to walk away without any closure? Well, the answer is a bit of both. While Nur doesn't fully solve the mystery of the house, she does learn a valuable lesson about the power of belief and the importance of respecting different cultures and beliefs. As Nur continues to investigate paranormal phenomena across the Middle East, she becomes increasingly fascinated by the stories behind the haunt. She learns that many of the places she visits are steeped in history and folklore, and that the ghosts that supposedly roam them are often linked to tragic events or unresolved conflicts. This realization leads her to change the focus of her channel from debunking myths to exploring the rich cultural and historical context of paranormal stories. She begins interviewing locals and experts, and incorporating their perspectives into her videos. And while she may not be able to prove or disprove the existence of ghosts, she does manage to shed new light on the beliefs and traditions of the people who live in the places she visits. So if you're interested in learning more about the paranormal but also want to explore the cultural and historical context of these phenomena, then be sure to check out Nur's channel. You might just learn a thing or two along the way.